Thank you, Martin. Good morning. Great pleasure to be here. Before starting, just reminding you, it will be me to be using the virtual glasses, the VR glasses. So you have the glasses already with you. You have the app to be downloaded. If you didn't download the app, just do it now, because after 10 minutes of a little bit of discussion, we're going to be having like an immersive experience here. It's when they invited me to be talking about connected people and networks, and I've been working for a long time already with smart cities. It was a big challenge because I knew that would be a very tech-oriented event here today. And maybe talking about people is not just about talking about technology. If you think, and everybody was talking about disruption here, the last 3 years have been in 50 different events, and I saw a lot of this disruptive new technology popping up. But if you think about disruption in our planet, the biggest disruption we ever had till now was us, human beings. And there are two main aspects of the human beings that distinguish us from the other species. First of all, we have a very concrete and deep concept of time. We understand time, we understand past, we learn with the past, we plan the future, and we live the present. There is just one, maybe, piece of information that is missing nowadays, is that with all this speed of the new technologies and all the connections maybe we are losing the big picture. If I ask you, over the last 20 years, what happened with the level of extreme poverty in the world, what would you say? We have reduced the poverty by half? It's the same as 20 years ago? Or it's double than 20 years ago? Reduce it by half? Okay, 10 people. The same? Okay, nobody? And we double the poverty of poverty. The right answer, and in the States, just 5% of people took the right answer. In UK, 9%, they are a little bit more optimistic than the Americans, is that we have cut by half the poverty. The world is getting better. Everything that we are doing, all the way that we are using technology is making our world better. But we are much more connected. And by these connections, we have access to much more information. And of course, it's for the media, it's easier to sell bad information or information that's not about good things, harder than good information. In all segments, Hans Rosling has written a very nice book called Factfulness. In all segments he had analyzed, we are better. So I'm a very optimistic guy. I love what I work with, smart cities. And the idea today is to discuss a little bit about what's happening in our cities and how we are using technology to connect people and to make easier our life. But I listen around the world a lot of people that are not optimistic. People are thinking that with all the problems that we are facing now, these problems are leading us to destruction. That probably the planet will blow up. If you take this geologic time and consider that our 4.5 billion years of existence of Earth, if you put this in 24 hours, the dinosaurs were just 2 minutes ago. And according to the expectations we have for our sun, we still have more 36 hours. So with all these advancements that we have discussed this morning in health, for sure we are going to be facing very, very good times from now on. The second aspect of human beings that make us very different, and that's why we are changing the way we live, is that we are very focused on solutions. That makes us very different from the other animals. When we build something, we focus in solving a problem. Not just the state of the art, but how to solve the problems. And that's the research that we are doing here in Europe, trying to put together the new concepts of management, the new concept of public behavior, into the concept of smart cities, and we created a concept called the Smart Up. We put it together, all the new principles of using technology in cities, but with the mindset of a startup. Think yourself as a mayor or as a public employee, but with the same mindset of a CEO in a startup. And we developed the 4 steps to make the cities smarter following this process. The first one, cities need a pitch. Actually, all cities has a DNA, and it's this DNA that links us to the feelings that we have about being a citizen in a city. The citizens doesn't want a new city, they just want a better city. So cities must develop their pitch to sell their projects, ideas to the investors that are from one part, us, the taxpayers, and the other part, the private sector that are really, really willing to invest in new technology nowadays. Second, keep it simple. Well, I travel around the world doing consultants for governments, and when I arrive, most part of the mayors, they just bring a book like 300, 400, 500 pages that is the master plan of the cities for the next 100 years. But they even don't know where to take the money from to do this. Keep it simple. Solutions are already here. We just need to implement the solution. Before thinking about the great momentum of the state of the art in the cities, think about how to solve the problems. I brought a case from Japan, Kamikatsu. It's a very small city in the country part of Japan. In 2000, Japan changed the regulations about burning the garbage, the waste openly. From an amount of garbage, the city should have an incinerator to burn the garbage. So they sit it down in the city hall there, and the biggest problem they had that they didn't have money to do the incinerator, to build the incinerator. They spent hours and hours discussing how to get the money, and finally they really realized that the problem was not the money, the problem was the production of waste. So they started changing all the perspective of producing waste. By 2020, after 20 years, they started the project. Kamikatsu will be, or they are claiming to be, the first city in the world zero waste. Nowadays, they already recycle or circulate 85% of the garbage they produce. It was a completely change of mindset. Nothing to do with technology. Actually, it was having no money to use technology that made them to get this solution. Third one, and very important one, find partners. Rio de Janeiro, when it started to develop the command center with IBM, they switch on this great investment they did there, and Rio just had at that time 900 cameras on the street. Was really not enough to control even a district in Rio. Again, put it together, politicians, let's put more camera, easy like this. Just to double the number of cameras, to give you an idea, London has 16,000 cameras. Just to double would cost more than investment in the command center. What they did, they flew to San Francisco, they did an agreement with a company called Waze. At that time, Waze was arriving from Israel there. And from night to day, they had 1 million people co-creating the traffic in Rio. And at that time, Rio was a great success for Waze, because we, there in Rio, were using Waze to tell our friends where the police was doing the alcoholic controls on the street. Well, even use it for the bad things, but it was a fantastic technology, free of charge. Rio didn't spend any money, Waze didn't invest any money, win-win situation. The last one, and maybe one of the most important one, talking about smart cities nowadays is talking about a new mindset. Not just the way you do it, but the way we perceive it. There is a very important instrument to do smart cities called PPP, public-private partnerships. I believe that 95% of the money that we need for smart cities will come from the private sector. It's just a way to put together the stakeholders. And it's exactly the fourth P now that we are discussing here in Europe. The UN call it people-first PPPs, or people-private public partnership. What is it? Including citizens on the process. In Italy, we tried a project in a very small town, just 5,000 people. They wanted to have also cameras on the street. They just got a budget from the national government of 9 cameras. That was nothing. What they did there, they invited another company from Silicon Valley to co-create with them public image donation. Citizens were buying a camera, a special camera, to put it in their backyard. And all the images that were extrapolating their perimeter, they were donating for the city hall. That was the basic idea. From night to day, they grew from 0 cameras to 300 cameras. It's not asking money for citizens, because we already pay our taxes. It's inviting citizens to co-create with us the better city for us. So the idea here, I brought the glasses, because I deeply believe that with very cheap and accessible technologies, we can start changing the world. There are a lot of definitions for smart cities, and my personal definition, a romanticized one that I like, is smart cities are places where everything conspires to make our life better. So I took an app that you have already developed, downloaded. That's an app for driving schools. And with Google Street View, I'm going to bring you inside some scenarios, and I would like you to experience these moments to be there. So take your cell phones, connect to the app. If you don't have, we are going to have also the image here. Who has the glasses and the cell phone already inside the glasses? You're going to see now we have Toulouse there in the glasses. But I would like to ask you to stand up, because immersive experiences are better when you don't feel you are not seated. You don't feel the ground. So stand up. And the first experience, we talk a lot about how technology is changing the business. We have a lot of e-commerce now, and this e-commerce is disrupting the traditional markets, the traditional retail. I will bring you now to my hometown, Rio. Okay, connected. Of course, my internet's not working now, but okay. Let's see if it goes. Internet was very fast when nobody was connected. Now that we have 300 cell phones connected, here we are. So the first scenario is Rio de Janeiro downtown, a very, very old street market in Rio de Janeiro. Let me see if it's already showing. Okay, here we are. Try to feel the environment. So the point here is that with all the technology, do you think this is the way to do traditional market nowadays? Or do you feel like shopping in a place like this? Don't know if the image is changing for you. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. So you see, places like these are still using just people connection to make business happening. The problem is that what kind of people, what kind of customers can you attract with just this environment? And from Rio, I bring you to Japan. Let's go. This is Shibuya Crossing in Japan. It's the busiest crossing in the world. We talk nowadays a lot about walkable cities, and of course Tokyo with 39 million people in the metropolitan area is the largest, far the largest metropolitan area in the world. And my question is, do you feel Tokyo as a walkable city? How to bring the concept of walkable cities to places in Asia that we have situations like that in a festival in Shibuya Crossing. Let's see if it goes. Yeah, internet's not working. And the last one, it's a very nice project that we are doing now in Barcelona called Superblocks. The idea behind the Superblocks is to give back the street to people, exactly using streets as the connection point for the neighbors. And the projects before in Barcelona was a very structured city. Let me see if you are, yeah. The project Barcelona was designed to be a city for cars. And now, the streets were very wide and very narrow walk sides for people. Now what we are doing there is exactly the other way around. It's closing the streets and giving back the street. So these are the process of transforming the super blocks. This is the first super block we had in Barcelona called the Poblenou. And this is the final result we had. Very simple transformation, basically very low investment, and we gave back the streets to the citizens, and now these areas are used by children to play, and also for neighbors to have social life and to have meetings. So all the districtal meetings now in Poblenou are being done on the street. I think our time is off. I will keep the presentation, the virtual reality presentation on while you are here during the break time, so you can have more experience. Thank you very much. That was the idea, and now I'll give back the stage to Martin. Thank you, Martin. Thank you.